What's up, weather fanatics? It's Alex back here with a pretty shocking and surprising update. So, I have been watching that Wednesday front we've been mentioning a little bit in our videos, and I've been seeing some pretty interesting stuff that if we get enough sunshine, we may have a severe storm threat for Wednesday. I will be watching this very closely because the warm sector has trended upwards for this system. So we could get upper 60 temperatures for Wednesday and dew points well into the 60s. We have to talk about this now. And instability could surge up to 800 to potentially as much as 1,000 joules per kilogram. Will be capable of a very narrow, intense squall line with many lightning strikes, and then behind it, a very strong LLJ. So, we're going to be talking about that in our video. It's going to be a short video. But what we've noticed is that this storm is looking a lot more significant than what we were thinking. So, let's get right into it. Composite reflectivity. Right off the bat. We're going to go over here. This is going to be for your Tuesday night. Rain, heavy at times. And then there's going to be that brief lull. And there might be a isolated thunderstorm in that for the morning commute for your Wednesday morning. But watch this. Everything clears out around 2 to 3 p.m. Watch what starts to happen. You're going to start to get these isolated cells forming. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this convective activity near 3 p.m. Already showing up near New Jersey. 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. It's going to be a narrow threat, but if you get any one of these storms to develop, it's going to be intense. It will be pretty intense. And I know this is really weird to be talking about severe weather in December. However, it has leaned to me that these setups do way more impressive than they usually are. Think about early November. Remember that powerful monster squall line that produced many positive cloud-to-ground lightning strikes in southern New Jersey and Delaware? That's the setup. That could be a repeat for Wednesday afternoon. And I will be watching that very closely. And we do have a chance for isolated supercells. So we're going to be watching this very closely. And I will tell you, if there's enough sunshine, that atmosphere could self-destruct to some stronger thunderstorms. Not just stronger showers with damaging winds, stronger thunderstorms with lightning. So that is a pretty interesting rarity that we might be able to see on Wednesday. I will be watching this very, very carefully. But there is certainly a chance where you could have some strong thunderstorms on Wednesday afternoon. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to be watching this very closely. And today, we're going to be looking at some of these model depictions of what they're hinting at. So, like I said, this model is showing some pretty interesting storm activity near the Jersey Shore by 5 to 6 p.m., and it's not bad. Temperatures? Look at this. We're surging all the way into the mid-60s. 67 in Philly. That is a joke. So, you can just get the idea. Once that rain passes through, it is going to warm up. It is going to warm up. If it manages to get into the upper 60s into 70 degrees, I am telling you, we may have a legit severe threat on Wednesday. At least a marginal risk, I think. At least a marginal risk. If not a slight. I would not be surprised to even see a severe thunderstorm watch. I cannot rule that out because of this massive temperature gradient. Look at this. By the time we get into the evening, boom, boom, boom. Arctic air fills in, and it's going to be a cold night. And it's only going to get colder from there. So here's the thing. Things can go wrong in this setup, but I'm leaning towards that Wednesday could be historically warm. And I'm talking historically warm. Look at these temperatures, man. Almost up to the 70-degree mark in New Jersey. That is wild. And this is why I'm watching. If there's any sunshine opportunities, these storms are going to self-destruct. These just gonna explode potentially. Now, if we do actually want to take a look at our cloud cover, look at this. 3 p.m., 15% cloud cover. 4 p.m., there's barely any clouds in the atmosphere. This is a huge key indicator that there is something going on in the atmosphere that the models have not been picking up. But I've been seeing that most of these models now are starting to hone in that there may be a legit thunderstorm threat for Wednesday night. Early December, it's been trending back a little on that warm sector idea. Still could be some thunderstorms, but now it's starting to trend and increase that this warm sector on Wednesday could reach as much as 70 degrees across the tri-state area. What that's going to cause, these dew points will immediately spike into the 60s, if not even mid-60s. So this would be incredibly wild, and this would be a drastic change of what we saw and what we were thinking for Wednesday. I thought we might see a couple showers and maybe a rumble of thunder or two. We mentioned that. But if this continues on this trend, we may be able to see some severe weather going into Wednesday. I will be watching this very carefully. There is that chance where there could be some thunderstorms. And wherever those thunderstorms set up, it's going to be powerful. It's going to be real heavy downpours, potential CG lightning. Yes, it's going to be intense because of that temperature gradient that you're dealing with. And actually, if you want to get into the severe aspects, let's even look at the Cape here, okay? And I'm going to show you what I'm seeing right now. Look at this. Look at this. 1,000 joules per kilogram in New Jersey. That is a sign that I need to watch extremely closely on, because all the models right now are hitting 500 to as much as 1,000 joules per kilogram. Is it the lower end or is it the higher end that we get? That is going to be the main question. What are we going to get out of that? But you see the Cape rising drastically. And you get even 1,000 joules per kilogram into Middlesex County. That is wild. That is wild. And that's why you're seeing that explosion of thunderstorm activity by the time we get into Wednesday. So, very short update. But I'm telling you, watch out for Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be sneaky. It's going to be conditional. But if we get the right ingredients to set up, I mean, it could be pretty intense. It absolutely can. We have everything going. We even have some supercell values. Probably not supercells. I'd probably more like think of very skinny squall line. But in that squall line, it's going to be very intense with potential frequent lightning and potentially very strong outburst winds from that. So, again, please keep an eye out on Wednesday. Please keep an eye out on Wednesday. If we see an update to the warm sector getting even warmer tomorrow, that is a huge red flag that we may have severe thunderstorms to contend with on Wednesday afternoon. And the timing also aligns well. 3, 4, 5, 6 p.m. Dude, it has the max amount of heating. If this comes in 3, 4 p.m., you're guaranteed to have at least some kind of strong thunderstorms. So we will see how widespread these events get. I don't know if we're going to get hit by a thunderstorm on Wednesday here, but someone in New Jersey may. And it could very well be here, but we just have to see where the greatest pockets of the warm, not even just warm, just hot temperatures align, where the best Cape aligns, where the best dynamics align, and we're going to have to see, because we also have a pretty strong low-level jet that's going to increase shear. That's why we're talking about potential isolated spin-up. So, man, it is going to be interesting Wednesday at the very least. But with that interesting, we may have to talk about severe thunderstorms. I'm not sure, but the ingredients that I'm seeing right now, it is a little bit concerning. It is a bit concerning, and I will keep an eye out for you guys in New Jersey, especially since we are from this area. Updraft helicity, we can even take a look at the run. It's not too much, but there are signals. So, it's definitely something to watch. Surface based cape to see that high values. I mean, that's kind of insane. And it's kind of positioned right over New Jersey. It looks like as if for Wednesday afternoon. I'm surprised the SPC has not issued anything for that because I think they should. This is a very interesting setup to watch. 4 or 5 p.m. has the best surge of cape surging into central New Jersey. So that is an optimal timing for heating. If we get sun on Wednesday, that is going to be troubling. And 70-degree temperatures is going to just make these thunderstorms even crazier. So, yeah, that's going to be your update for today. Please watch Wednesday. Please be careful because we may have an unexpected event heading our way. Why? Because that low pressure up in the Great Lakes may be stronger than expected, has a bigger cold front with it, and this might have a bigger gradient in general. So please keep an eye out on this. If you see like sunshine and very warm temperatures that you can literally wear t-shirts on Wednesday, don't be fooled because there is danger headed your way if sun comes out. Not like April 1st by any means, but, it's something similar like it, where you get a little bit of a warm sector that bam, when that cold front comes through. I'm not sure how that storm mode will come out, but, we have the potential. We have ingredients lined up. If this is correct, this could be a troubling sign. But anyways, guys, I will see you guys in the next update. And that update may be tomorrow, depending how strong that severe threat gets, because the Cape, 800 to 1,000 joules per kilogram, is by far the strongest signal we have seen in a while. So, yeah, we're definitely on red alert, storm watch for Wednesday, all right? Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great evening, and as always, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all.